Hello, my Nosologist. You're watching Scientific Medical Nosologist YouTube channel. So, in this video, we want to discuss about the how to read and understand RGHS results mark sheet. So, without delay, let's get into the video. So, basically, most of the students complain that we don't understand the RGHS results. We just see whether we have passed or not. We just see that and finish off watching results. So, most of the students can't read and understand RGHS mark sheets. So in this video, we going to discuss each and every word written in mark sheet and understand what is the meaning of that words and how the SGPA is being calculated is and overall and RGS mark sheet. Each and every word meaning we will discuss in this video. So stay with us. Let's get into the video. So in this video, we are discussing about the RGHS EMS results mark sheet. So first of all, what is the meaning of EMS? So EMS means Examination Management System. So the Examination Management System, that is nothing but the EMS is a separate portal, or you can say separate website which is made by RGHS to conduct exams and to publish the results. To publish results, they have made separate website and separate portal. For that reason only they have named EMS. That is nothing but Examination Management System. In this RGHS EMS result mark sheet, you can see many of the columns. In this video, we going to discuss each of the columns meaning and how the marks are given and on the basis of what marks will be given. So everything we will discuss about this in this video. So how to read and understand deeply your RGHS mark sheets by understanding each and every technical word meaning that is given in the mark sheet. So first of all, let's start with the first column. That is nothing but read. So our first column is paper code. So paper code is same as of QP code, but it is not QP code. So paper code is a unique code which is assigned to a specific subject. So this is a paper code which is assigned to a specific subject. So for anatomy and physiology subject, this is the paper code. So this is not important to discuss. So let's move to the next column, that is paper title. So in paper title, you can see the name of the subject. So first column is of the paper code and that paper code's subject name will be given here. That is anatomy and physiology. Okay. So next column will be of TP1 max. So TP means theory paper, not practical. Theory paper maximum marks. TP1 max means theory paper 1 maximum marks. So as you know that the anatomy and physiology subjects are divided into two subjects. In examination, they will conduct anatomy and physiology two subjects separately. With you need to write two exams in a single day, but with different booklet. You know this already as you written exams. So in examination, anatomy physiology subject will be divided into theory part 1, theory part 2. Or type 1 subject, type 2 subject. So they will divide this anatomy and physiology subject into two subjects. First theory paper 1 will be anatomy and second physiology paper will be considered as theory paper 2. Or you can say first paper will be anatomy, which we call type 1 paper or type 1 subject paper. Second one will be physiology. For that we will tell type 2 paper. So for writing both the subjects, you will get 3 hours. So in 3 hours, 1.5 hours you need to write anatomy and another 1.5 hours you need to write physiology. Okay, so this is about everything, how exams are conducted. You know this already because you have written exams. So your TP1 max means theory paper 1, that is anatomy papers maximum marks. So how much maximum marks was there in anatomy paper, that will be given in this question paper only. So that will be considered as TP1 max. So next column is TP1, just TP1, it's not given max. So TP1 max means maximum marks. Maximum marks you can score in theory paper 1, and the TP1 means how much marks you have scored in theory paper 1, that will be given in TP1. So out of TP1 max, how many marks you have scored will be given in TP1. So in this mark sheet, TP1 will be anatomy. So maximum marks we can score in anatomy was this much, and In that, how much marks you scored is this much, that will be TP1. So now let's move to the next column, that is TP2 max. As same as TP1 max, TP2 max means theory paper 2 or type 2 paper. So if theory paper 1 is anatomy, obviously TP2 paper will be physiology. Okay. So in TP2 max means maximum marks you can score in physiology subject, that will be given in this column, and marks you have scored in physiology paper will be given in TP2 column. Okay. Okay. Clear? And so now let's move to the next column, that is next column we have TIA, that is nothing but the theory internal assessment. So for next column we have TIA max, means theory internal assessment marks. So as you know that the internal assessment marks will be different, that will be out of 25, and practical marks will be different, that will be out of 50. So you guys know about this, right? Theory internal assessment marks will be given by your college. So this will be given on the basis of how you will study and how your IQ works, and how much interest you will show in the subject, how much respect you show to your tutors and professors, principals. So every college faculty, based on that they will give. So did you follow all of the college rules? Did you be regular to the college? So based on many other factors, they will college will give you this theory internal assessment marks, and practical marks will be PTR max means practical external maximum marks will be given here, that is 50. So practical marks means in practical external examination, in practical external viva examination, how many marks you have scored, that will be given here, that is in this case 40. So PIA means practical internal assessment marks, which will be done by which will be given by internal examiner during practical examinations, which will give you out of 50 marks. He will also give some marks which will be added in this column, that is practical internal assessment marks, that in this case, and practical marks will be given by practical marks will also be given by your college also, and external also. Practical internal marks will be given by your college only. If internal is from your college, obviously you will get the marks from your college only, and external will also give us some marks, and that marks will be also added in practical marks. So for viva questions, you may go on to the first internal, and then you may go on to second, that is external. So internals will also give some marks for viva answers you have answered during viva exams in front of internals or externals. So internals will also give marks, and externals will also give marks, that will be added in your mark sheet. So apart from externals and internals, your college will also add some of the theory internal assessment marks, that will also be added in this mark sheet. So theory assessment marks will be out of 25, they will give 21, 22. So how much your score will be there, how much you have scored in internal assessment marks, which is done by the college. So according to that, they will give this marks. And practical marks or vertical marks or viva marks are given by the both internal and externals. Theory internal assessment marks will be of all the subjects. See, for example, in this mark sheet we have communication, English, anatomy, physiology, psychology, sociology. So each subject will be having its own theory internal assessment marks. Each subject maximum theory internal assessment marks will be 25. So in 25 in 25 they can give any marks based on the in which subject you are good. Based on the in which subject you are good, and you will read which subject, and in which subject your performance is good. According to based on that, and based on all other factors, college will give your theory internal assessment marks for all the subjects. For each subject there will be a 25 marks. So now let's move to the next column, that is credits. So what is meaning of this column? So basically credit means the importance of the subjects and the hardness level of the subjects, and how much depth it is in that semester. Did you understand? This credits column will be same for everyone. Every student of that semester, the credits will be constant or same. Okay, this will be changed. So here you can see all of the subjects list and their respective credits. So the subject list consists of all of the subjects in basic nursing, semester wise students, and in second column you can see the respective grades of all the subjects. Mainly the credits are given to the particular subject based on the total hours total hours required to complete that whole subject syllabus. So based on that, credits will be given. Theory plus lab and clinical. So and all of the hours that should be spent in studying the subject in a theory class, doing practicals in a clinical, and doing lab works. So based on how much time it takes to complete whole syllabus of that particular subject, I mean how many hours it take to complete that whole subject syllabus. So based on that we will give the grades. So that involves many calculations. So I recommend you not to uh, overthink about that total hours how grades are given. So just forget about it. It's unnecessary knowledge. So you just consider that the subject and credits for a particular subject. This much credits will be given. That's it. Why you need to know that why credits are given? So you just see for a particular subject how much credits is there. For all of the students, the credits will be same for the particular subject in a semester. So this is how this works. So so I made a list of all these subjects with their respective credits. As you can see here, for BS Nursing first sem, as we know, we have community English, applied anatomy and physiology, applied sociology and psychology. So for a community English, you can see your mark sheet, RJS mark sheet to correlate with this. Communicative English is not taken. Communicative English exam is not taken by RJS, but they add that subject marks in mark sheet. Without taking exam only, they will add the marks. So here is a list of all the subjects in BSNS semester batch with their expected credits. So for communicative English, the credits will be 2, and so the applied nutrition and dietetics and biochemistry will also have 5. Nursing foundation and nursing foundation first and second will be having 23 credits. So based on the theory, lab, clinical hours that should be spent in completing the syllabus of nursing foundation first and second. So based on that, these grades will be given by Indian Nursing Council only. You can also check these credits in your Indian Nursing Council syllabus. So it is not given by RJHS. This credits is given to the specific subject by Indian Nursing Council only. You can check it. You can check it out. But what RJHS is doing means RJHS will mix this. Like in Indian Nursing Council, as you can see, let me show you guys. So guys, as you can see, this is the Indian Nursing Council syllabus in which they already given that for a nursing foundation subject theory, nursing foundation subject theory consists of 6 credits. They are given this officially, and skill lab 2 credits and clinical will be 2 credits. So 6 plus 2 plus 2, how much guys? So this will be of 10 credits. For only nursing foundation, credits will be 10. This is only about the nursing foundation 1. So now let's check it out. So just keep this 10 credits in your mind. So let's go to the nursing foundation 2. So as here you can see, this is so this is nursing foundation 2. So for nursing foundation 2, we have 6 credits for theory and 3 credits for practical and 4 credits for 3 credits for lab and 4 credits for clinical. So the total will be 6 plus 3 plus 4. That will be of how much? This will be of 13. This is only for nursing foundation 2. The nursing foundation 2 single subject consists of 13 credits. So this credits is nothing but the hours. So you can think like that, Uh, so credits is another SI unit of time. So basically time will be mentioned as a hours, no. So with replace of hours, they just using credits so that they can minimize large numbers like 240 hours required to complete this nursing foundation syllabus. So as you can see here, only 120 hours, 120 hours, 320 hours. By by replacing this 120 big numbers, they are using these short numbers like 6. So for that they gave a new name, that credits. So credits is nothing but the another SI unit of time, or you can say with replace of hours they just adding credits. So credits is nothing but the how much hours required to complete the syllabus of this particular subjects. Okay. For nursing foundation first we have a credits is that is 10. For a nursing foundation 2 we have a credits 13. So by adding these two we will get 23. So this is what number is given in your mark sheet, 23. Why we added both 10 and 12 means this is nursing foundation first and this is nursing foundation 2 credits. As we take nursing foundation 1 and 2 both the subjects exam at a time only, so we for that reason we need to add both nursing foundation 1 and 2 subjects credits, which will give 23. So total 23 credits will be given. Total 23 credits will be there in an both nursing foundation first and 2 subjects. So that we will add in your mark sheet. As we can see here, nursing foundation first and 2 will be 23. So like this you can find out your credits, how credits are given, from where the credits are given. So everything you will get more information about that if you want to know. So for of now you can see that all of the subjects uh, all of the subjects in semester wise batch of BSc nursing and their respective grades, which will be given for our respective subjects. So for nutrition we have 5 credits, and for nursing foundation first and second we have 23 credits. For health nursing informatics we have 3 credits, and for adult nursing 1 we have 14 credits, and applied microbiology infection control we have 3 credits. Adult nursing 2 we have 14, pharmacology pharmacology, pathology, genetics, everything will consist of 6 credits. And professionalism 1, human values 1, community health nursing 7, education. And credits are given to the specific subject based on the importance of that subject. For the specific subject in an semester, they will give a credit score. So according to that credit score and according to your credit points, SGPA is being calculated. So basically, credits represents the importance and workload of the subject. So how much hard it is and how much time it takes to learn and how many days it takes to complete the syllabus as a teacher. So everything. So by considering everything for a specific subject, we will give a grades. Okay. So next column is grade points. So how much marks you have scored in a particular subject. So based on that marks you have scored, we will give the grades, grade points. As you can see the list. So this is the grade point chart. You can see. So based on your obtained marks, we will be giving grade points. So based on grade point, you will get the letter grade. So as you can see in this mark sheet, the letter grade of particular subject will be given in last column of the object's mark sheet. So now with the example, let's discuss about the how grade point will be given to the particular subject. So grade point will be given based on your scorings, as I told that before only. So in adult's mark sheet, they have given that for adult type nursing, total marks is 200. So the grade point will be calculated based on the total marks, uh, based on the out of total marks how many marks you have obtained Based on that, we will be calculating. So in Arjun's mark sheet for a particular subject, how much percentage of marks you have scored in particular subject. So based on that, we will give the grade points. So let's understand this with an example. Okay. So for example, you scored a 150 marks out of 200 marks in adult life nursing. For all of the practical, so this so many students will may get surprised that how a particular subject can have 200 marks as a maximum marks. So theory, for a theory you will be having 75 maximum marks you can score in theory paper. So 75 will be for theory and plus 25 will be for internal assessment marks and plus 50 marks will be of practical marks, that is internal practical marks, and another 50 marks will be for external practical marks. As you can see in the Arjun's mark sheet only, many of these students may wonder why practical subjects have 200 marks, 200 total marks. So 200 is given because 75 will for 75 marks you will be writing theory exam, and plus 25 marks you will give as a internal assessment marks which is given by your college, and these 50 marks will be given, and these 50 marks is of practical marks, not internal assessment marks. They are practical marks which is given, practical marks or viva marks which will be given during practical examinations. During practical examination, two persons uh, two person will be asking you viva questions. That is one internal examiner will ask you viva questions, and after that external 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 examiner will also ask you viva questions. Internal examiner will also give you some marks. Out of 50 marks he will also give you some marks. He will also give you some marks, and and external examiner will also ask you some viva marks, viva questions, and he will also, and external examiner will also give you some marks. Out of 50 marks he will also give some marks. So the total marks for all of the, so the total marks for this particular subject of this particular subject, that is adult type nursing subject, will become 200, because 200 including the theory subject, including theory marks 75, internal assessment marks 25, 50 for internal practical exams, and 50 for external practical exams. So by totaling all of this will become 200. So for that reason only practical subjects will having 200 marks. As you can see, this all things in are just mark sheet only. Practical maximum PAR maximum marks for internal, PAR maximum marks for external. So when you add all of these marks, you will get the 200 maximum marks for a practical subject. So 100 out of 200 marks of a practical subject, how much marks you have scored, based on that we will be giving grade points. So with an example we are taking in this adult type nursing subject. So in adult type nursing subject, as you know, total marks will be 200 marks as I explained now. So out of 200 marks, for example, we will think you have scored 150 marks. So to calculate marks percentage, we have the formula that to calculate the particular subject marks percentage, we have a formula that obtained marks divided by total marks into 100. So this is a formula to calculate. So this is a formula to calculate the percentage of an marks percentage of an particular subject, which is necessary for an calculating grade points, and to give a particular subject grades. So for example, out of 200 you have scored 150. So we will divide 150 divided by 200 into 100, which will give the 75%. So in other type nursing subject you have scored 75 percentage. So for an single other type nursing subject you have getting 75 percentage. So after that you need to check in this chat grade point chart. So your percentage was 75, which falls under this category, that is so 75 to 79 will be grade point 8 and the letter grade will be A. Okay. So this is all about the how to calculate the grade point. So let me take another example with an only theory subject marks. For example, let's take about the um, anatomy and physiology. So let's take example of upper anatomy and physiology. So upper anatomy and physiology have 37 for upper anatomy and 38 for applied physiology. So grade point will be calculating based on all these based on this overall total two subjects marks. So theory paper 1 will be 37, theory paper 2 will be 38 marks, and theory internal assessment marks will be 25. So keep on calculating these things. What we need to calculate: 37, 38, 25, and there is no grace marks. So by calculating 37, 38, 25, you will be getting 100 marks. So out of 100 marks, how much marks you scored in TP1, TP2, and theory internal assessment marks you will be getting, as there is no practical marks given here, as this is a only theory subject, pure theory subject. This is a pure theory subject. There will be no practical exams for these subjects and there will be no practical marks. So for that reason only these theory subjects will be having total marks 100. So out of 100 marks, how much marks you have scored, that will be given here, that is total obtained marks will be 64. So let's calculate this. Let's calculate this subject percentage according to this mark sheet. So let's do that. For that, open your calculator and as you know the formula, that is obtained marks divided by total marks. So obtained marks here is 64 marks divided by 100 marks. 100 marks. 64 divided by 100 marks is equal to into 100. So that will become, so this subject percentage will become 64 percentage. So now let's check out in grade point chart. So if your percentage is 60 to 64%, then your grade point will be 6 and your letter grade will be B, that is nothing but above average. So let's check out this in our judges mark sheet. So here is 6 grade point. So if you have scored 90 to 100 marks in an subject, that will be 10 grade points. So as we can see, this is a list. So this is important for calculating credit points. So to calculate credit points, we have formula, that is credits into grade points. So based on your scoring, we will give the grade points, and what we will do means we will multiply credits into grade points. Okay, which gives credit points to. So when we calculate this, we will get the final credit points, and these credit points are used to calculate SGPA and CGPA. Okay, and the next column and last column is grade. So this grade is given based on the final marks how you scored. Out of final marks, I mean in this example only, in this mark sheet only, total marks to score in this semester was 300. So out of 300, how much marks we have scored? So based on that marks, we will give the final grades. It's not a grade points, it's a called grade. So as you know, this already I think you guys already know this, because in 10th, 12th also we will do the same things. So now let's know about the how grade final grade is given. So most of the students will tell that final grade will be given with the basis of on the basis of SGPA. So here I'm gonna confirm you that final semester grade is not given based on the SGPA. So with the proof, you as you can see here. So with the proof, as you can see here, the two students having same SGPA, but the grade is different. As here you can see that the two students having SGPA same, that is 7.82, but the grade is different, as you can see here. Here it is A plus and here it is B plus, but this SGPA is same. So this concludes that this grade is not given based on the SGPA. So as you can see, there is a different mark sheets having same SGPA with a different grades. So this confirms that the semester's final grade is not given based on the SGPA. It is always given based on the percentage, overall percentage, how much you scored based on that, not single subject percentage. All of the subjects, percentage, final percentage, based on that percentage only you will be giving final grades. So after checking many RGHS results, I I coming to know that final grade is given based on the percentage. So here I have been showing how to calculate the total percentage of a semester. So for that, what you need to do is you need to divide this maximum marks into maximum marks divided by total marks, grand total marks you have earned or you have obtained. So another thing I'm going to tell is, so here you can see that is a star is given on this subject, health nursing subject. Only this subject has given star, not other subjects has given. So it means this subject marks will be not counted during the calculation of this grand total marks. As you know, this grand total marks is sum of all of this total obtained marks. So when you add 72 plus 150, you will be getting 222. So you will be getting 222, and you should avoid this and this number calculation does not include this subject's total obtained marks. It is just for showing. It is not included in calculating any percentage of an mark sheet. Which all subjects having star marks in their name, in their paper title. So which all subjects have this star in their paper title or name, these subjects marks will be not included for the calculation of this total marks. So when you add these two subjects, you will be getting 3/2, and after that what you need to do is you need to find to get final percentage of all the subjects in this semester. You need to divide your total marks grand total marks divided by maximum marks you can score, and grand total obtained marks divided by grand maximum marks you can score into 100 to get percentage. Then you will be getting 3/2 divided by 300 will be 74 into 100, 74 percentage. So this will be having 74 percentage, and this so after getting the final semester percentage, you need to come into here. So you need to come into this RJH's final semester grade calculation table, where you will be getting all of those things. So for 74 percentage, as you can see, so the 74% falls under this category. So the 74% will fall under this category. For this category, you will be getting grade B plus. That is good. So you will be getting B plus grade. So let's check out this in the that mark sheet. So here you can see the final grade as given B plus. So what we calculated was correct. So this is how your judges mark sheets final grade will be calculated based on the percentage and based on the calculation of all of the total marks you have scored, excluding excluding the subjects which you not wrote in your RGS examination. As you know, you only wrote allied nursing and nursing foundation subjects only. So for that reason, you should only count these two subjects marks for your total percentage. We should not include other subjects that is mentioned in RGS mark sheets. Okay, so this is how your final grade will be calculated. So guys, now let's discuss about this column, that is grace marks. So many of the students will ask about the how grace marks are given, even for which students grace marks will be given. So is it depending on the answer presentation? So most of the students ask about that. So let's clear in this video so that what is meaning of the grace marks and how grace marks are given. So grace marks are nothing but the extra marks that will be given to these students, that is given to his students if his answer presentation is good, uh, or at least his answer presentation is okay, average. So for that students, the grace marks will be given to pass out him if uh, he is struggling for 1 to 2 marks to pass in the semester. So for that reason, so for that type of students, they will give that 2 marks required to pass him, and they will pass him in that semester. So here as we can see, I have listed when the grace marks are given, on which situation grace marks are given. So not so for example, I made this nursing foundation subject. So for example, I made this. So as you can see, for nursing first, so maximum marks is 75 marks. So out of that, so out of that you have scored good. You have scored 45, 50 to 40, but in one subject, you have got 36, and the passing marks to and the passing marks to and the passing marks for per subject is 38 marks. For all of the subject, the passing marks is 38 marks, and in one subject, if you have scored 36, means you have not passed, you have failed. So for that, what so the passing marks was 38 and you got 36. Only 2 marks difference is there. So due to 2 marks only, uh, your final your final semester result will be fail because of one subject and because of 2 marks only. So for these type of cases, the RGs will feel very sad, and they will get emotional, and so for those students, they will give some extra marks, that is grace marks, to pass out that student in then to make that student pass in that particular subject. So after adding 2 marks for 36 marks, that will be 38 marks, and the passing marks was 38 marks, and due to that 38 marks, so due to that, the student will be passed in nutrition biochemistry subject, and he will be passed in all of the 4 subjects in semester, and his total semester result will be pass. Maximum 5 marks they can give as a grace marks. So if you need more than 5 marks to pass in that semester, pass in that subject, then you will not be getting any grace marks. You will be considered as failed, and so in this case, the student was failed due to deficiency of 2 marks, and so for that reason, the RGS has added 2 grace marks. and passed him, as we can see all of the subjects. For, and in another case, if you have getting so for example, if you have failed in two subjects, and in one subject, if you failed in two subject, and in one subject you need 2 marks to pass, and in another subject you need to get 3 marks to pass, then Arjutis may give you grace marks in both the subjects. In one subject you will be getting 2 grace marks, and in another subject you will be getting 3 grace marks, as the grace marks giving criteria is maximum 5 marks. So the limitation to giving grace marks is only 5 marks. Maximum 5 marks will be given to one subject or two subjects. It's not mentioned here, but Arjus will also give grace marks for two subjects. So to check how many grace marks we have got, you have separate column in Arjus mark sheet, as you can see here. So more details about the grace marks, I have already made the video about that. So as we can see here, so with the link in the description, you can get to you can visit that video and watch all of the extra things about the grace marks. To know more about the grace marks, you can watch that video. Okay. So it will be like that. Okay. So now let's move to the next column. So what is meaning of SGPA? SGPA means semester grade point average. So how to calculate this SGPA means, to calculate SGPA we have a formula, that is total grade points. So how much grade points we have got in each subject, we need to total them. So while calculating credit points of all the subject, we should not include the subject which has star mark in that. So formally, while calculating percentage or while calculating grade points or SGPA, we should not include any subject that has star mark in that. We should not include the subject which subject exam we did not wrote in RJS exam. So we are avoiding this. So how much grade points we have got in each subject, we need to total them, and we need to divide with total credits. As same as we have added credit points of all the subject, we should also add all the subject credits, and after that we need to divide total credits points by total credits. So as we can see with this mark sheet, that will be SGPA in this mark sheet. So higher SGPA means higher performance. Okay. And SGPA is used to calculate CGPA, that is nothing but the cumulative GPA for all semesters. That will be calculated when your course will be completed. Okay. So at lastly, we're going to discuss about the CGPA. So how to calculate CGPA? So CGPA is calculated with the formula mentioned here in sum of all of the semesters SGPA divided by grades. So this looks little bit tricky, so let me explain you for this. So SGPA 1 means first semester SGPA into first semester all of the subjects credits excluding star marked subjects credits. So excluding star marked subjects credits, all subjects of first semesters credits should be calculated. All semesters, all semesters, all subjects, first semester all subjects credits exclude first semester all subjects credits excluding star mark subjects. So we need to sum of all of the subjects in first semester and total, and we need to multiply a total we need to sum of all of the subjects credits excluding star marked subjects, and we need to multiply that into, so this will be first. And so as the same of first semester, we should also do for a second semester. For second semester also, we should take the second semester SGPA, and we should multiply this with all of the subjects grades of second semester, and for a same we need to do till the 7th semester or 8th semester. And after that, what we need to do, we need to divide it by, so year 1 means first semester. Okay, all of the subjects grades of all of the semester, we need to sum up, and we need to divide this two to get CGPA. So with example, let's understand it deeply. So the students who have not understand with this, so here I also mentioned that everything related to formula, you can read it at your by self. So let's understand this with an example. So in example, I only including till third semester, but you need to include all of the semesters. So for example, you have scored SGPA 7.2 in first semester and 7.8 in second semester, third semester 7.5. So you need to write your all semester SGPA as shown here. So in this case, I only included till third semester, but you need to include SGPA of all semester till seventh or eighth semester. And after that, we should multiply SGPA with grades. All of the subjects in that first semester, all of the subjects grades excluding star marked, we need to multiply this. So this is for first semester, this is for second semester, this is for third semester. So we need to plus this, and so then we will get this point 629.1. So this 6.219 will be divided by all of the subjects, all of the semesters grades, uh, that will become 83 in this case, and with that we will get all of final CGPA. As you can see, the here is a credits. You need to sum of these credits 28, 32, 25, that will become 83. And by dividing these things, by dividing these two, you will get total SGPA. I mean, you will get CGPA. You will get final CGPA.